Hey guys, I'm here to bring you another deck profile here today. I'm with Bobby, who came first in the Oceania TAC Regionals with Dark Broly Gogeta. So congratulations, Bobby, and thank you for being here and welcome.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Alright, let's just get right on to the deck list. So first of all, we have the leader. Um, so the Dark Broly leader is one that's been doing extremely well for quite a while now. On the front side, you've got an activate main where you add up to one card from your life to your hand. Then you look at the top five cards of your deck and place up to three black battle cards with 30k power among them into your drop, and then place the remaining cards back at the bottom of your deck. When it attacks, you draw a card, and the awaken is draw two at four or less life. On the awaken side, you have an activate main where you can place up to three black battle cards with 30k power from your warp back into your drop. Then you get a draw a card. Then the activate battle is you can choose one black battle card with 30k power in your hand or battle area, place it in the owner's drop. If you do, the leader gets 5k power for the battle. This is important because a lot of the Dark Broly cards have zero combo power, and it also means you can combo with battle cards in rest mode. So it's pretty nice. Why did you choose to play Dark Broly? Any particular
Uh,
reason?
well, it's really good, but
Fair enough.
I started playing the set Dark Broly came out, set 11,
Yep.
and I started with SS4 Vegeta,
Yeah.
and I learned pretty quickly that it wasn't that good. So I had to find something else. And at the time, Dark Broly was still kind of undiscovered. I guess people weren't really on it,
Yeah.
so everything was pretty cheap. So I picked it up early, and I've just been grinding away with it. So
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's a really good deck.
might as well play it.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. Completely get it. All right, let's move on to your battle cards. So we have the main Dark Broly package. So we have three uncontrollable Berserkers, four Demon Realm Ravengers, and two the new Masked Saiyan. So uncontrollable Berserker. When you play it, you get a warp on your opponent's battle cards. Demon Realm Ravager, when you play it, your opponent warps a card from hand and a battle card from drop. And the new Masked Saiyan is just a blocker. All three of these cards have an activate main. If your leader is a Dark Broly and you send six black battle cards from your drop to your warp, you can play it from your drop area. So yeah, why were we playing this ratio with three SRs, four rares, and two uncommons? Um, how's it working for
Well,
you?
it gets kind of clunky if you play too many.
Yeah,
So I kind of had to figure out where, you know, the ratios and that type of thing. And the Demon Realm Ravager is just that's the best one.
yeah,
You want to do that as often as possible, recycle it, play it again. That's easily the MVP. And then the Uncontrollable Berserker, three is fine. You're going to see it when you need to see it. As long as you manage your warp correctly, it'll always be there.
yep,
And then the blocker is not that good, but it's the only one. It's the only other one that you can play from the drop for free. So
yeah,
I can't cut it. I don't think you can cut it, but two of is fine. You're very rarely ever playing it to actually block.
yeah,
Um, maybe in like a Majin Vegeta matchup or something where you're gonna die instantly.
yeah. It
But
is.
other than that, you're basically just playing it for one more swing with 30k.
Yeah, it's nice. It's essentially just a free play
So
30k beat.
you only need to see as long as it gets into the drop somehow.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, and the deck filters through pretty well. And then we've got our other Dark Broly. So we have two Unbridled Destruction and one Vindicator. Um, so Unbridled Destruction was a pretty consensus for a while. You've dropped it down to two, and then we've got the new Vindicator. What was your reasonings behind these guys?
So I'm not playing Heartfelt Plea, as you'll notice.
Yep.
So the two drop or the seven drop is not a necessity. It comes in situationally. It's nice to have another ball target. It's good to have a target with deflect in case you're playing blue. But very rarely are you ever evolving for two. There's some situations where you might do it, but it's kind of rare. And two, I know it sounds kind of blasphemous, but two is like super expensive in this deck. If I'm
Yeah.
paying two for something, I really need to get a lot of value out of it. So it's just good to have another target for ball. And then the Vindicator at one, it's really tough your opponent has to have 3 or more energy for the auto to proc.
Yeah.
So that's like your turn 4 essentially, and it's not going to come up all that often. If it does come up, if you get to that point, chances are if you live to turn 4 and you've got a pretty full drop, pretty full warp, you can really recycle some cards and play it. So it's good to have. And in rare circumstances where you've played all of the other Dark Broly's, it's always better to have one more target. Why not? But I don't know if it might be a 2 of in the future, but I don't think I played it. I don't think I played it once over the weekend. Maybe once, but not anything. It was just a 30k swing when it was played. So
Yeah. Do you think you're going to keep it in the build, or do you think you'll cut it? How are you feeling about it now?
I think you just play one in case you need a target with ball. There's some games that go super late where you've warped everything away or you've overwhelmed and you get kind of stuck with targets. If you mismanage it, right? It's always nice to. I don't know. It didn't hurt as a 1 of, so
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
I don't know if I'd bump it up, but I don't think I'd cut it. I think every Dark Broly that comes out, if another one comes out, assuming everything doesn't get banned, I throw it in.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Moving on, we've got the 1-drop Broly engine. So we've got 4 Savage Rush Brolys, 4 Toa Union of Magic and Science, and 3 7-star Parasitic, 7-star Ball Parasitic Darkness. So the 1-drop Broly, simple 1-drop. You can activate main. You can pay 1, send 3 black battle cards from your drop area to your warp to play them. And then if you use a 7-star ball and target the 1-drop Broly, you can play a Dark Broly from your deck. So that's any of the 6 drops or the 7-drop. And then you have Toa of Union of Magic and Science, where you can search your deck for the 7-star ball, or you can activate main to add the Dark Dragon Ball from your drop area back to your hand. Yeah. Why are we playing? So four Broly and 3 balls is pretty standard these days, but you've gone back up to 4 Toas. How did it perform for you?
Toa's great. I love Toa. It's the turn 1 play in almost every matchup except for Mecha.
Yeah.
The reason I just like to play a lot of 30Ks, I like to be consistent on the front side with the mill. And when you play Toa, you get the ball, so you're essentially getting 10k combo power. I know some people play 4 balls and 3 Toa, but I'd rather play the Toa, get the ball, and have a little bit extra. And it's activate main where you pay a black to get back the ball. I think even still, people kind of sleep on it. It comes in clutch a lot. Some matchups that are not super aggressive, if you don't have Demeter on turn 2, you might play a 1-drop Broly, and then you have nothing else to do with your energy, so you just recycle the ball. Or if you're going to overwhelm away and you're kind of nervous that you're not going to see another ball, you can save it from getting overwhelmed. So
yeah,
it's you're not really playing it too often after turn 1, but good to have. I'd like to see it. Makes it more consistent. Sometimes if you go 3 and 3, you don't want to get stuck where you don't have a ball to play a 1-drop. So
no, that's fair enough. Yeah, the 1-drop engine is quite nice. It's just you get to pay 1 and you can get one of your big beaters out, which is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, and now with the Gogeta Xeno engine, which we'll get to, that 1-drop Broly is really important, because if you need to get cards in the warp quickly, you can pay your 1 from the drop, put 3 black battle cards, and hopefully you put in a Vegeta and a Goku, and that's really the most efficient way to get those Union Fusion targets in the drop. So you can pull that off pretty quick.
Yeah,
if you happen to mill correctly, or if King Vegeta happens to crit 1, that's even better.
That'd actually be really nice. Damn. So moving on to your Gogeta engine, we have 3 SS4 Vegeta Fiend Greeting, 3 SS4 Son Goku Beyond All Limits, 3 Gogeta Fearless Fusions, and 3 Gogeta SS3 Gogeta Thwarting the Dark Empire. So the Overwhelm Vegeta, on play using Overwhelm, your opponent warps a card from hand. Son Goku Beyond All Limits, on Overwhelm you get to add a black battle card with an energy cost between 3 and 7 from your warp to your hand, so that can add back any of the Gogetas. It can add back your more Demigras, any of the Dark Brolys. It's pretty nice. Fearless Fusion is a 1-cost Union Fusion. So Son Goku and Vegeta both have to be Xeno, and you can choose targets from your warp, which is really nice. On play, you warp opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and it's also a blocker. And then finally, we have the new TP Gogeta. Double strike, Unifusion for 1. When this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to its owner's warp. So, very, very strong engine. Why did we go for a 3-3-3-3 split down the line?
Maybe just my OCD, probably. I only have 3 of the Gogetas. I think 4 would be a little much since I'm maybe in Vegex you play 4 because you might mill a few away or whatever. But with Unique, 3 is usually a good target.
Yeah.
And I only own 3 of the SS4 Son Goku Beyond All Limits. So it just seemed to make sense to go 3-3. If you're going to see enough targets with that, and you can recycle them. So you really only need to see 1 and 1. It's not like you have to fill your warp with a bunch of targets. You're constantly moving them back and forth. So I think that's the right ratios. But
yeah, was
some
there
people
any
might
games
want to be super consistent.
Yeah, was there any games in which you missed the a Goku or a Vegeta, or you wish you just had them earlier, or was it pretty consistent at 3-3?
There were some games I wished I had it quicker, and then there were some games where I hate doing this, but I had to combo off one out of hand to get it in the drop to do it. I'm not a big fan of doing that, but yeah. So ideally, you just hit it on your first leader mill, right? That's what you that's what you want. A one drop Broly, a Goku, and a Vegeta, and then you're golden. But yeah, I saw it enough. Dark Broly filters so much, you're gonna see it. So
yeah, that's fair. And the other one was only 3 Fearless Fusions. Did you ever wish you played a 4th one? Could be very good against a fair few matchups, or was 3 enough?
Yeah, so I think people are still kind of split, at least in lists that I see or top players I see on playing this Gogeta.
Yeah.
But I think it's amazing, personally. I wish I would have been. I guess there wasn't a 30k Vegeta prior, but this deck is, or this Fearless Fusion is really good. I hate King Piccolo as a Dark Broly player.
Yep.
So, and Drum has been the MVP of that deck forever. So being able to pop Drum is really nice.
Yeah.
And then there's some other good. I mean, just popping anything 4 or less is nice, but to be able to remove barrier as well, it's
gets through
super sweet.
Gets through Invoker's Vegeta, which is nice.
Yeah, that one I like it. Some people in playing Mecha try and play the 3-drop. What it's Energy Annihilator, or what's the one that makes you pay an extra. Yeah. Yep. So popping that is sweet. The Lord Slug engine's kind of fallen off, but
can pop that if they play it.
Pop Lord Slug. So there's a bunch, and Drum is primarily why I played it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Drum is so good. But
as a King Piccolo player myself,
it does get clunky.
Yeah, as a King Piccolo player myself, it's certainly an annoying card. Whenever I see like a Gogeta Xeno deck or now a Dark Broly deck, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna have any battle cards. This is good.
Yeah, the removal is insane. It can really it can clear boards very efficiently, and it's a blocker. And some matchups that you can't leave it standing because they didn't arrest it or remove it, whatever. But there's some matchups where that extra blocker comes in handy. So
yeah, 100%. Then the last thing with the 2 last things for the Gogeta engine. One, was there a specific reason why you played the TP Gogeta over the SS4 Vegeta thwarting the Dark Empire from the set, or was it?
The one that from the Supreme Rivalry cost an energy, so
fair enough.
While I prefer to crit, that's amazing. Getting 1 card out of hand early is nice. If you do that and the Demon Realm Ravager, you get a couple cards in warp. And I'm playing the Kai Negate, which we'll get to, but sometimes if you're not cognizant of it and you don't warp anything yourself, you could not have 3, your opponent or you can have 3 in the warped in order to play it.
Yeah. So
that guarantees at least 1, and if you play a Demon Realm Ravager, normally, 1 from drop, 1 from hand, that's your 3. So just in case some situations, that's useful just to make sure you have that turned on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And the last one is no true fighting spirit. Now, True Fighting Spirit's a card which you can Union Fusion with because you've got the super combo, but that won't be happening too early on in the game. It'll be more something for later. However, True Fighting Spirit is just a card that's found its way into Dark Broly anyway to help deal with blue matchups, and even help to deal with Violent Ray decks, because you know they're going to Violent Ray, so you can swing with the Demigra, have True Fighting Spirit, so they lose 4 cards. Is there any reason you're not running True Fighting Spirit in this build?
Yeah, I would run it if I was playing Heartfelt Plea to get the Awaken quicker. But since I'm not playing Heartfelt Plea, I don't really have an efficient way to get it into the drop besides comboing it off.
Yeah.
And I play this kind of conservatively. I'm just trying to gather as many resources as possible. I'm just trying to plus on every interaction, right? I want to get something out of your hand and gain something on my end, typically. So while it is good to have on the field when they swing with the Demetra while you've got a True Fighting Spirit out and they Violent Rays, that feels so good. Typically, this has enough hand destruction where if I just swing with Demetra and you Violent Rays, like, you're probably in trouble anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and so many red players right now are on King Vegeta and they're playing that imposing presence.
Yeah.
Violent Rays isn't as prevalent. People are thinking they can get away with sparking the gate from Battle Evolution or Vegeta's imposing presence, and they're not playing Violent Rays. So I just try to take advantage of that this weekend.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And look, it turned out for you pretty well. Moving on, we've got the rest of your 30k battle cards. We have 3 of the Demigra, True Power Unleashed, and 2 Brainwash No More. Demigra is a Dark Overwhelm for 2, or just a normal Overwhelm 5 for 2. When this card is played using Overwhelm or Dark Overwhelm, you draw 1 and warp on your opponent's battle cards. Then, when Demigra attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card of their hand and sends it to their warp. Next, we've got Brainwash No More, which is an Overwhelm 6. When you play this card using Overwhelm, you can place up to 3 black battle cards from your warp back into your drop, and it's got to activate battle. If your leader is black and you discard this card from your hand, place 1 card from your life in your drop, and your leader doesn't take damage for the battle. Yeah, why these ratios? Did you ever feel like you needed another one of these guys, or you had too many of them? What was your thoughts?
So I used to run 4 of the Mass Saiyan Brainwash No More.
Yep.
I really like that card. Free Overwhelm, 3 back in, leader effect, 3 back in. You can almost get to a whole nother Dark Broly. But
Yep.
I think, and primarily on defense, you play it for Shenron aggro. That seems to be the matchup where it comes in the most. Or now, I guess, King Cold with the Unison. But it seems like Shenron aggro is kind of falling off with everybody playing Mecha. And, you pop 12 for Cell Xeno, and then somebody final flashes you, and it's kind of a bummer.
Yep.
So I cut it down to 2 because I still like the defense. I play it a little conservatively. It's always, if you leave 1 up, people are always going to play around it. Once they see it, they're going to play around it. So I like it at 2. And then Demetra, I only own 3, but I don't think I would play 4. 3 is enough. There's some matchups where I'm hesitant to play it, right? Even though everyone thinks it's great against blue because it goes long, chances are if you pay 2 for it against blue, it's going to get hit Deadly Vanguard.
Yeah, especially if you go second.
Yeah. So if I can stick it, I love getting Demetra out. Especially if you miss a mill or miss you get 2 on a mill and you have 5 right in there on turn 2. I almost always just tap the 2 and Dark Overwhelm for it.
Yeah.
And I like clearing the board with it the most. I typically if I think the game is going to go a little longer, I'm just going to clear whatever battle card you have in rest mode. And so I'll warp something, draw a card, swing at your battle card. You're not going to combo to save it because it's a 30k swing. Then you're going to warp a card from hand. It's just, it generates so much value for 2 energy. So I think it's one of the MVPs of the deck.
Yeah. Also, it's a great card to clear Unisons with. Just
please. Let me swing at that.
Yeah, play a Unison. Let me swing at it. You don't need life. Yep.
I know.
It's pretty nasty card. Moving on, we've got your Negates. So we have 2 Power Burst, 2 Supreme Kai of Time, Labyrinth Unleashed, and 2 Super Kamehameha. Everyone probably knows what Power Burst does by now, but if you don't, if your leader is black, negate the attack, then choose up to 1 black battle card with an energy cost of 1 from your drop or your warp, add it to your hand. Then it's got permanent. If you have 5 or more cards in the drop, you can activate this card's counter skill by taking a life. Then we've got Supreme Kai of Time, Time Labyrinth Unleashed. It's a counter attack, and then you play it. If your opponent has 3 or more cards, if you or your opponent have 3 or more cards in the warp, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. Then if your leader is black when this card is played using its counter attack skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, send it to its owner's warp, and play any card sent to the warp by the skill to the opponent's battle area with the skills negated at the end of the turn. And finally, we have Super Kamehameha, which is essentially the only semi-decent black counterplay in the game. If your leader is black and your life's at 4 or less, if the battle card being played is an energy cost of 3 or less, it is sent to the owner's warp instead of being played. And then the permanent, if you only have black battle cards in your energy and your life's at 4 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding a card from your life to your hand instead of paying the energy cost. So another sparking-like effect. So yeah, why did we go for a 2-2 split down all the negates?
Yeah, again, probably just my OCD. I like to do things in nice even numbers, but gotta play Power Burst. You have enough one-drop targets to gain value from it, and if you have to tap out, it's always nice to have that available. The Kai negate, I wish I could play more. I love this negate.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's very good in breaking up any type of chains that people are playing, right? If you're like this deck can struggle. One of the main chains I worry about playing in these best of ones is someone playing the Gogeta Engine.
Yeah,
that always freaks me out because it's hard to deal with. And Dark Broly, the defense is, I think people value it more than it actually is. It's kind of you can run over it. So once you get through the cards in hand after the Awakening, right? I'm going to have a lot of cards, but if you can piece through those, you're going to be in good shape. So the Gogeta Engine always gives me a hard time. If I'm playing the mirror match, you're not going to be able to heartfelt plea me, in theory.
Yeah.
Unless you're very smart about not swinging and just going right into it. But then you'll lose some value playing around it, and then I'll just negate the heartfelt plea swing anyway.
Yeah.
And it's also great because everybody is on Heroine's lineage. So when you steal my card, and then I just take it back.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. Or, Meki Tabora, they tap 4, they play the boss monster, they take 2 of your guys, and then I'll take my good cards that you stole from my warp, and I'll play it back on my turn.
Yeah.
So
and the skills won't be negated for the rest of the game when they play it back, which is nice.
Yeah, it's a great negate. I really
really
like playing it.
It's really good. And then we've got the 2 Super Kamehamehas. Was this just to stop floodgates, basically? It's like your counter.
Floodgates, yep, sure. Floodgates, everything in Baby, right? Well, not everything, but a lot of the stuff in Baby.
Yep.
Mecha Frieza, the new body negate, robotic riposte, Topo and Topo, and then the Poutine, right? These are all seeing a lot of play. Yep. But my favorite target is Vegeta switching gears.
Fair.
That's my favorite one to hit because typically if they're playing that, there's something that they have to fix in their hand. And now you're bottom decking a Baby, and now you're not getting the draw, and you're probably behind at that point. So for King Vegeta players, play that when I'm at 5 life. When I'm at 4, I'm definitely gonna look to get rid of that. Yeah. So
one of my other favorite ones is whenever I play against King Piccolo is to just get rid of a drum. Just no drums for you. It's also quite a
and hits new ruler. Sometimes that's the last the last card coming in. So it's. I think in best of 1, you have to main deck it. It's really good. 100%. It just stops the floodgates, interrupts their turn, and typically I play conservative, so I try and keep a few up on defense. If I think I'm going to die, I'll pay the 1. I don't always go sparking here. Sometimes it's worth 1 energy to interrupt their turn.
100%. It also hits Piccolo Junior Eradicator of Peace, which is an insanely good card. But to be able to hit that is really nice.
Yeah, if they play it that late, you're lucky. Usually that's coming out as soon as they get 2 energy. That thing's hitting the board.
Yeah, true. Moving on, we've got the rest of your battle cards. So we have 4 Vegeta super combos, 2 Hidden Power, East Supreme Kai, and then your Supreme Kai of Time Secret Rare. Most of these seem pretty normal. I feel like the main question I've got for you is why are you playing Kai over Champa? I think that's the main one. Besides that, seems pretty normal.
So I've got the deck foiled out.
Yep.
So I do not have Judge Champas.
Yep.
So,
Very cool.
but I do have foil East Supreme Kais. So I've got those, and then the Supreme Kai, I still really like it. I know Heroine's lineage is cheaper, I guess, and useful in both offense and defense, but there's nothing better than it actually came up really clutch in my first game against Vegex. They swung with the battle card first on turn 4. And I was okay. I'm not going to combo out. I'll eat the life, but I'm going to activate battle and play the Kai. And then shutting down the leader and the Unison. There's a lot of decks that are heavily dependent on the Unison. Tin Cold as well. If I can hit that's game swinging. So, and it's also really good on offense if you think you're going to be able to go for game. If you can, excuse me, if you can pay 1 for the Kai to arrival in and then just throw a Champa on top, 50k double. That's pretty tough to.
That is
pretty tough to get out of. So
Kai is probably the best secret in the game. Also being Unison removal, which is something we don't currently have. It's definitely a very nice card. And then you got the 4 Vegetas, probably the only super combo you ever really want to run in the deck. Bottom decks cards you don't need, and draws you more. And it also can be a Gogeta fusion target in that dire situations if you have a true fighting spirit in the deck. So
yeah. If I see my this super combo is so good. I love it so much. If I see it in my opening hand, I keep it.
Yeah.
Game.
100%.
I know everyone probably says games where you see your super combos you win, but I just feel like in this deck you can cycle so well. If I see these super combos, it's
I feel like
so
when
good.
I play Dark
I love
Broly,
playing it.
there's a good chance I see 4 super combos every game. It's because the deck just filters everything else out of the deck besides non super combo ish cards. Like you just see everything. Then we'll move on to your matchups for the day. So round 1 you played against Vegex. How's that matchup go? Vegex is a pretty nose to the ground aggro deck. How did you beat them? Anything special to note, or was it just a relatively simple game?
He didn't mill particularly well, so that helped.
Yep.
Very good player. He ended up finishing top 8, so I was his only loss. But it got to turn 4. He had me. I think I was at 3 life, and he swung with a Vegeta, and I played the Kai, and that turned off his Unison and turned off his leader. So at that point, there wasn't too much left. I kept some energy open because I knew I would, if I wasn't going to be able to kill him on my turn 3, so I just played conservative. And if he's going to go in for game, that's what Vegex wants to do. So if I could find a way to survive and hit the Kai, then I'll probably win on the crackback. So it can be difficult, and the later round was more difficult, I guess. But if I didn't see the Kai, I lose the matchup. So
that's fair enough. Sounds like an extremely close game. Were you able to was Dark Broly just really good at getting the crackback because Vegex doesn't have too much defense? So were you able just to
once he tried, I think he overextended a little bit after I played the Kai. Yeah. And once Dark Broly fills up with stuff in the drop, and I've got options to play, and it's difficult. 30k swings are difficult to combo out of, right? Even with Kais.
Yeah. 100%.
So I think Vegex, if they go first and they mill well and they get you early, you can easily get destroyed.
100%. Round 2, you played against a Android 16 build. How did that go for you?
It was fairly easy. I don't know if the player was super well experienced or not. He was a nice guy, very nice guy. He made some weird plays. He played the new Pan Unison from the set on turn 2 and -2, which I guess is okay because he was trying to stop me from swinging, I guess. But I'll just take a turn off. That wasn't a big deal. He didn't ramp.
Yeah.
So we kind of just got far enough down the road where I had way more cards in hand than he did, and there was not really any chance that he was going to be able to kill me. So I think if you avoid them getting to the boss monster, the 8 drop at the end, where they rip multiple cards from hand, if you can kill it before then you're probably good. Also, the new TP, I think
And,
it only kills 4 or less,
yeah, something
or
like that. 4 less or
1500 or
5 or
less.
less.
So it didn't really hurt my deck too much when he was playing those. So
Fair enough.
it was a fairly easy matchup.
Yeah. What about next round was Sin Shenron? How did that one go for you?
That was a close game. I initially I wasn't paying too much attention to the ball that he played. He played a ball for turn 1 off of Ice Shenron,
Yeah.
and I assumed it was the ball that goes into the 4 drop, which was going to leader lock and get the 9 drop out and do all that.
Yeah.
So I played around that turn 1, and then I realized on his turn it was a Rage Shenron ball, and he was going to go for aggro. So once I realized that, like, okay, then I'm probably going to be okay. And to be honest, there was no like spectacular play in the game. It was just kind of, I just out resourced him and was able to swing for game when he couldn't combo out. It was just kind of a ho hum. He didn't like pull off Celzino, or I don't even think he got out the triple striker.
Yeah. Okay.
So in those games, if Shenron doesn't get that stuff off, you're probably okay.
Yeah, you're in a pretty good spot. Round 4 was Mecha Freezer. How'd this go with having to battle against the new Riposte? And was he playing the Vegeta Unison of Fury?
So he was playing the Vegeta Unison of Fury, but he never got it out against me. I think he ran 2 copies, and they were deep into the deck. But he was playing the new popular Sensu Bean build.
Yeah, okay, yeah, nice.
So luckily, one of my buddies in my Discord server, Josh, he's been testing this all week since that Cross World video came out. So I had a lot of experience against it. And essentially, you just don't give them, you don't play a Toa, and you don't give them anything to rest. You play your Dark Broly, you swing with it, and then you combo it off on the leader effect. So you don't give them a lot of targets to rest. And he kind of made a tactical error on turn 3. He tapped out for that Energy Annihilator.
Interesting.
Which I was thrilled for. I mean, I guess I could see a world where if you think I'm going to play a 1-drop and a ball that's going to cost me an extra 1 and it's going to mess me up, but yeah. I played this 16K Gogeta that pops a barrier. It's like, all right, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So we got far enough down in the game where I think I had 15 or 16 cards in hand and he had 7.
That's
so
nasty.
I just kind of played. I was like, all right, he can Bergamo all he wants and Final Spirit can and do whatever he wants. He's not going to have the juice to finish me off with a big swing, even if he Final Flashes twice or whatever. I was going to be okay. So I just trying to let him do his thing and have a turn, and then I just killed him on the crackback. But he was nice. He was a nice guy, and enjoyed playing against him.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Then round 5 was the red-green aggro King Vegeta. How'd that one go?
This was probably the scariest one.
Yeah.
It popped off really quick. I think he finished very well. I think Thomas Littman. I think he got 10th or something like that in the event. He did really well.
He did well.
Yeah. Turn 1, I don't know if much happened. I think he went first, so I just played a Toa and passed. And then turn 2, he hit me with the Piccolo Jr. And 3 Nappas.
Oof.
And I about passed out. I was like, oh my god, no. And so then he got the Bardock out. He got the Tau out. He had all this stuff out. So he got me down to 3. And I think he also forced my Awaken, which you really don't want to have to do in Dark Broly. It's a lot of value lost if you have to Awaken on defense. But he got me there. And then I just basically played turn 2 to clear his board. Yeah. And I overwhelmed, did some stuff, and I got him down to just 2 Nappas, essentially. And then on his turn 3, he only had 5 cards in hand or 4 cards in hand when I passed. So
You're in a pretty good spot.
He swung with leader, and I was on 3 life. I was like, all right, that's fine, because he's going to play Piccolo Jr. anyway, so I'll just take the life.
Yeah.
And then he was able to get out another Piccolo Jr., overwhelm the Bardock, but then he just went all in on that Piccolo Jr. swing, and I had all my super combos. So
out of combo.
I didn't feel too guilty because he had 3 Nappas. So
yeah.
Yeah, he was a little shocked that I was able to. Can you count that again? Like, yeah, sure, man. Like, I'm there, and I still had a few cards in hand. So once that happened, it was basically just,
Game over.
finish him off. I think he had 4 life, but you swing with Demetra, you get a card out of hand, you play Demon Realm Ravager, get that one out, and then at the end brought out the Gogeta and double strike for game.
Finish him off
So
double strike. Nice. Yeah, and then last round you played against David Liu in the finals. So another Vegeks matchup. How'd that one go?
this was another scary one. It only went 4 turns. I ended up winning on my second turn.
Gosh.
Yeah, he just put the pedal to the metal. I know the first mill, it wasn't. I think he just got a Trunks blocker. It wasn't anything insane. Maybe a Unison.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of pushed me pretty far down on turn 2, but I was able. I think he tried to save a little bit for defense, and he had 5 life, but I was just able to piece away at his hand and swing, and I think I played both Gogetas, popped the blocker with one, and then I got there, and then I had like just activate battle on my leader to dump a bunch of cards in the drop just so I could play one more Dark Broly.
Yeah.
He was on 1 life, and then he had 3 cards in hand, and I swung with the blocker. And I had no juice left. I was like, if you got 2 Kais, you got it. But he had a Kai, a Power Burst, and something else, so he could only get to 30.
Ooh.
So I was able to escape with that one. So that was
just 5K.
That was exciting.
Extremely close.
Yeah, there was no way I could pass and let him go again.
Yeah.
He would definitely kill me. He had all the Gogeta stuff, and so it was basically just now or never.
Now or never. Well, congratulations, Bobby. You did really, really well this weekend. I'm assuming you're still going to be on Dark Broly for future events.
If it's still a deck, I'll be on it.
Look, if it doesn't get banned, still be on it.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot for coming along and talking me through your matchups and your deck. It's a really cool deck. I'm definitely going to give it a try at locals, and then maybe even next regionals. Would you like to give any shout outs before we head off?
Yeah, I just want to shout out everybody on the Discord server I play on, Planet Vegeta. I only picked game up during quarantine, just out of boredom and looking for something to do. And I found these guys, and they taught me how to play. I've only gone to my local scene once. I've only played 1 game in real life. Everything I've played has been on webcam. So, but I was able to meet some cool guys on there to play with, specifically Josh and Peter and Mitch and Armando and Johnny and David and a bunch of guys. But Chris helped me test the Team Vegeta matchup, and Josh was on Mecha. So I was able to test a lot and just be well-rounded. Yeah.
Well, congratulations once again, and thanks a lot for coming aboard.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.